الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. الإمام Malik and Imam al-Bukhari, Abu Dawood and Nasai and others collected a hadith on the authority of the companion of Rasulullah ﷺ by the name of Rifa'a ibn Rafi' al-Zuraqi. He said that the Prophet ﷺ said, or rather he said, he reported an incident, excuse me. He said, we were once praying with the Prophet ﷺ, and when he raised his head, meaning coming back up from ruku'. You're in a position of ruku', and when he stood up from ruku', he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah. And that's usually what you say when you stand up from ruku'. One of the companions, not even mentioned by name in this hadith, said directly behind the Prophet ﷺ, رَبَّنَا وَلَكَ الْحَمْدِ حَمْدًا كَثِيرًا طَيِّبًا مُبَارَكًا فِيهِ. This is a beautiful dua and a praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, سَمِعَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ حَمِدَهُ. This is the Prophet ﷺ. And the etiquettes in this regard is when the Imam says Allahu Akbar, say Allahu Akbar. He says Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah. You say Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah. Then you say Rabbana wa lakal hamd. A lot of times people would miss on this very particular part, and they just jump directly to saying Rabbana wa lakal hamd and Rabbana lakal hamd without wow. So both of them are correct. But you say first of all Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah, then Rabbana lakal hamd or Rabbana wa lakal hamd. And then he added this part, and he says Hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fih. A praise, alhamd is a praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you say alhamdulillah, by definition, keep in mind there, it relates and it pertains to two things. One is you are affirming the utmost pure attributes to Allah ta'ala. Because all of the attributes of Allah are perfect because they are related to the entity of Allah, Thatullah. Sifatullah ta'ala, what it pertains to, it pertains to the entity of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all perfections. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. All of the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are perfect because they do represent the entity of Allah. So when you say Alhamdulillah, you are confirming and affirming the perfection when it comes to the names and attributes of Allah. Always keep that in mind. Two, as you are confirming and affirming, you are also negating at the same time any negative attributes that could pertain to Allah. None of them. وَالشَّرُّ لَيْسَ إِلَيْكَ, as the Prophet ﷺ said. Evil cannot be referred to you, O Allah. But rather, when you say Alhamdulillah, he says Alhamdulillah. But what kind of praise is he talking about? He says Hamdan, a praise. Kathiran, much of it. Kathiran, tayyiban, pure. Mubarakan fih, blessed. All of it blessed. The Prophet ﷺ, as soon as Rifa'a reports, he says, فَلَمَّا انصَرَفَ قَالَ. When the Prophet ﷺ finished the prayer, he turned over and he says, who said this? من المتكلم? Who said this? And he said, the Prophet ﷺ. One of the companions raised his hand and he said, I did, Ya Rasulullah. He says, I saw رأيت بضعة وثلاثين ملكا يبتدرونها أيهم يكتبها أول. He says, I saw 30 some angels, all of them rushing to record it exactly the way you said it. So they would record it and take it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a tremendous thing. The point of all of this is not something that the Prophet ﷺ taught this companion. This is something that Allah taught this companion. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهِ. The key to having access to Allah Ta'ala being your teacher in a sense is for you to be mindful of Allah. Mindful of Allah how? You cherish the commands of Allah Ta'ala as being a gift to you from Allah. Cherish also the prohibitions from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because they are directly given to you as a gift from Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. This is how you are mindful. By you keeping Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala your reference in your commands and prohibitions, Allah will teach you. This is the mindfulness that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wants to see from all of us. Allah will teach you. Now, there is another thing that relates to this point that I want to point out. When it comes to being guided to righteousness in all of its aspects, whether righteousness is just to do the right thing. This is what righteousness means. It's derived from doing the right thing. Whether that is a command or a prohibition. When there is a prohibition, the right thing is for you not to do it. A command, the right thing for you is to do it. And so to be righteous, it only means that you are chosen by Allah, not because of something of your own doing, but rather it is a gift bestowed upon you by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. This teaches you and I two things. One, we should never take guidance to do the right thing all the time and being righteous, take it for granted. Because since it is totally a gift from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, then Allah can always retract it, can always take it back. One of the teachers asked his, or rather reported to his teacher, one of the students reported to his teacher saying, so-and-so was really good, but then again he drifted away. He said, either one of two things, this is the teacher saying. Either he never asked Allah Ta'ala for that guidance in the first place, see, and Allah Ta'ala chose him and gifted him with it. Or because when Allah Ta'ala guided him and kept giving him the gifts of doing the right thing all the time, he never said thank you to Allah Ta'ala. He was never grateful. So either by, in other words, fact that you are being steadfast on doing the right thing all the time is a result of two. One is Allah Ta'ala chose you with it. Allah literally bestowed that gift upon you. Has nothing to do with your own doing, your efforts. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has nothing to do with your efforts. It has all of it. Allah Ta'ala said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best of the sons of Adam, وَلَوْلَا أَن ثَبَّتْنَاكَ, had it not been for us, meaning for Allah, to grant you steadfastness on doing the right thing, لَقَدْ كِدْتَ تَرْكَنُ إِلَيْهِمْ شَيْءًا قَلِيلًا, you would have drifted away with them and followed them in their whims and desires. But it is a gift from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So two things. Ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, first of all, sincerely for the guidance to be righteous, meaning to do the right thing all the time. Two, whenever Allah Ta'ala gifts you with the knowledge, convert it to action. Because one of the ways to be steadfast is to be, first of all, a person who has connection, you have friendship, you have a direct connection with the Quran, the book of Allah. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, we have sent you the Quran لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ, so we could make your heart steadfast and firm. And also, when it comes to doing or converting your knowledge into action, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says that if they had done what they were, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ should they have implemented what came to them, لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ وَأَشَدَّ تَثْبِيتًا, it would have been better for them when it comes to reward, but it would also be a means of what? Of that would make them firm on their deen. Another form of also keeping steadfast. When Allah Ta'ala gives you that righteousness, keep in mind that you have tons of destructive elements that want you to drift away and to fall off the wagon. Shaitan comes number one. And all of the beautiful, attractive things around you in this world that contribute towards what? Drifting you, causing you to drift away. So pay attention that those are gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The point, you have a Quran and you have also converting your knowledge into actions. 3, read the stories of the prophets and messengers and read the stories of the righteous people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have given you the stories نقص عليك من أنباء الرسل لنثبت به, so that we would make your heart steadfast and firm. Meaning what? When you learn about the stories of other people, their experiences are validation of you being tested. It's nothing that should faze you, but rather makes you even more firm on continuing on your route. And another form of it, and the last one I want to mention, is keep yourself within a circle that would remind you always of doing the right thing, meaning that would keep you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Keep yourself and discipline yourself to be patient with those who work hard to be steadfast on as-sirat al-mustaqim, meaning the direction towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And don't turn away from that track and that circle of friends and circle of people that would always remind you of Allah, remind you of doing the right thing. Because the only alternative that you would leave them for is zinat al-hayat al-dunya, is the beauty and the whims and the desires and the pleasures of the material world that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those who are always striving to turn knowledge into actions, convert it into actions, and to make us amongst those who are always steadfast and grateful to the guidance given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammad. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.